In a sunny American suburb where every driveway had a polished SUV and every lawn looked borrowed from a magazine, there was one house people rarely talked about. It sat at the corner of Maplewood Street. White paint slightly faded. Old oak trees shading the porch. Wind chimes that sang softly every evening. The woman who lived there was known simply as Aunty May. No one remembered when she moved in. No one remembered her real last name. They only knew she waved politely, paid her bills on time, and kept to herself. Across the street lived Lila Cross, 24. Blonde. Perfect skin. 5 million followers across platforms. Lila was a rising influencer who filmed everything. Her morning coffee. Her gym outfits. Her dramatic relationship stories. Her opinions about people who did not matter. She had recently moved into Maplewood Street and already declared it her aesthetic neighborhood. In her first week, she posted a vlog, smiling into the camera saying, "This street is cute, but some people really kill the vibe." The camera casually drifted toward Aunty May's porch. Aunty May was sitting quietly knitting as she always did. Lila laughed. "That house is like a time capsule. I swear the lady never leaves. Probably still uses a flip phone." The comments exploded. Old people jokes. Lazy neighbor jokes. Karen memes. Aunty May did not respond. She never watched the video. She never owned the apps. But her name quietly traveled. The quiet neighbor auntie. A few days later, Lila decided to film a neighborhood content series. She walked door to door interviewing neighbors. When she reached Aunty May gate, she hesitated, then smiled and knocked. Aunty May opened the door. Gray hair tied neatly. Soft eyes. Simple cardigan. "Yes, dear." Lila turned the camera on. "Hi guys, I am doing a series meeting my neighbors. This is the auntie I told you about." Aunty May looked at the phone, then at Lila. "You should ask before filming." Lila laughed it off. "It is just content. People love authenticity." She leaned closer. "So auntie, how long have you been living here?" "Since before electricity." The laugh track was added later. Aunty May smiled politely. "Long enough to see streets change. And people forget who keeps them standing." Lila blinked confused. "Okay, deep. Anyway, what do you do all day?" Aunty May answered calmly. "I listen. I watch. I take care of things." Lila smirked. "Like knitting and gossip." Aunty May's eyes sharpened for half a second, then softened again. "If that is what you believe." That night, Lila uploaded the video. Title: Meeting the Strangest Neighbor on My Street. Millions watched. Millions laughed. What no one noticed was the email Aunty May sent quietly that same night. A single line. "It may be time." Sent to 5 recipients. All addresses ended with cityboard.gov. The next morning, parking tickets appeared on Maplewood Street. Construction notices were placed. Noise permits were revoked. And for the first time, Lila Cross content was interrupted. She looked out her window annoyed. What kind of street is this? Across the road, Aunty May watered her plants. Wind chimes singing softly. Unbothered. Unseen. But no longer unnoticed. Lila Cross woke up to the sound of drilling. Not the soft kind that builds something pretty. The loud, angry kind that ruins content. She grabbed her phone, already annoyed. "Guys, today was supposed to be a calm morning routine vlog, but the universe is literally attacking me." She pulled the curtain aside. Orange cones. Yellow tape. Men in reflective vests. Right outside her house. She stormed out, barefoot, phone still recording. "Excuse me, what is happening here?" The foreman glanced at his clipboard. "Utility inspection. Street-wide. Mandatory." Lila scoffed. "Nobody told me." He pointed toward a laminated notice taped to a wooden pole. "Been posted for a week, ma'am." Lila turned the camera to it. "I literally never saw this." The comments later would say, "Because you only look at yourself." Across the street, Aunty May stood on her porch, holding a mug, watching quietly. Lila noticed her. Did you know about this?" Aunty May nodded gently. "Yes, dear." Lila walked closer. "Why didn't you say anything?" Aunty May took a sip. "You did not ask." Lila rolled her eyes. "Of course you knew. You probably complained." Aunty May smiled. I do not complain. I inform. That answer bothered Lila more than anger. The next few days were chaos. Trash pickup delayed. Delivery trucks turned away. Street parking restricted. Every inconvenience hit Lila Brand. Her sponsored shoot truck was denied access. Her internet cut for 6 hours due to maintenance. She went online furious. This neighborhood is run by dinosaurs. Someone needs to modernize this place. Again the camera drifted to the corner house. The comments grew crueler. Witch. Karen. Neighborhood tyrant. That same evening, a neighborhood meeting notice appeared in every mailbox. Mandatory attendance. Location. Community center. Lila smirked while reading it. Perfect. Time to expose this Aunty. The community center was packed. Families. Retirees. Local shop owners. Aunty May sat in the front row. Hands folded. Lila entered late. Camera hidden in her bag. She whispered to her followers, "Live. Guys, this is where I confront her." The city official stepped up. "We're here to discuss upcoming zoning updates and community leadership matters." Aunty May stood calmly. "Thank you all for coming." Lila froze. Why is she talking? Aunty May continued. "As many of you know, Maplewood Street has been under my oversight for 17 years. Lila laughed out loud. Oversight. What is this HOA cosplay? People turned toward her. Unamused. Aunty May did not react. As acting neighborhood liaison, I coordinate with the city on permits, safety, and infrastructure. The official nodded. Ms. May has been instrumental in maintaining property values and safety compliance. Lila's face tightened. Wait, what? A man from the back spoke. She stopped a liquor store from opening near the school. Another added. She helped me fight an unfair foreclosure. Another. She secured the grant that rebuilt our sidewalks. Lila's heart raced. She whispered into her phone. Guys, this is scripted, right? Aunty May finally turned toward her. Young lady. You seem surprised. Lila stood up. You sit at home knitting. Aunty May replied softly. Yes. And answering city calls. Reviewing proposals. Protecting the street. Lila scoffed. So you're like a hall monitor. A murmur filled the room. Aunty May eyes sharpened. I am the reason this street exists as it does. Silence. The city official cleared his throat. Due to recent violations, one residence is under review for commercial misuse. Lila's stomach dropped. Commercial misuse. The official looked directly at her. Operating an unregistered business from a residential property. The room went still. Lila's voice cracked. What? Aunty May sat back down. I told you, dear. I listen. I watch. I take care of things. Lila ran out. Live stream still on. Outside the wind chimes rang. The street no longer smiled at her. Lila did not sleep that night. Every notification felt like a warning. Every vibration like a countdown. Her live stream clip from the community center was everywhere. Influencer exposed by quiet neighbor. Karen versus Karen, but plot twist. When Aunty runs the street. She paced her living room, refreshing her email. Then it arrived. Official notice. City Compliance Department. Her hands shook as she opened it. Unregistered commercial activity. Unauthorized filming permits. Noise violations. Parking misuse. 14 pages. She screamed. This is harassment. She slammed her laptop shut and stormed outside. Aunty May porch light was on. She marched across the street. What do you want from me? Aunty May looked up from her chair. Peace. Lila laughed bitterly. You ruined my brand. Aunty May stood slowly. No. You exposed it. Lila stepped closer. You planned this. The construction. The meeting. Aunty May nodded. Yes. Lila's eyes widened. You admit it. Aunty May's voice stayed calm. I admitted I take care of things. This street asked me to. Lila scoffed. Who gave you that power? Aunty May pointed toward the houses. Them. She walked back inside and returned with a thick folder. She placed it on the porch railing. 17 years of files. Grant approvals. Zoning petitions. City board votes. Emergency calls. Lila flipped through it. This is insane. Aunty May leaned in. I was once like you. Loud. certain the world owed me attention. Lila looked up. You. An influencer. Auntie May smiled faintly. Before that word existed, I worked in municipal strategy, urban development, conflict resolution. Lila swallowed. Why retire here? Auntie May looked down the street. After my husband died, I wanted quiet, not irrelevance. She met Lila's eyes. There is a difference. Lila's voice softened. You could have talked to me. Auntie May nodded. I tried. You laughed. Silence hung between them. Then Lila's phone buzzed again. Sponsor withdrawal notice. Then another. Then another. She collapsed onto the porch step. This is over. Auntie May sat beside her. No. This is accountability. Lila whispered. You hate me. Auntie May shook her head. I hate disrespect. You were careless with influence. Lila stared at the street. They all hate me now. Auntie May replied. No. They are watching how you respond. That night, Lila deleted the mocking videos. She posted an apology. It was messy, defensive, half honest. The internet smelled blood. Apology not enough. She is sorry she got caught. Across the street, Auntie May typed quietly on her old laptop. Subject: conditional review. She paused, then added a note. Opportunity for remediation exists. Send. The next morning, a letter arrived for Lila. Hearing scheduled. Option for compliance training and restitution. Lila read it twice. She looked toward the corner house. For the first time, she did not see a quiet Auntie. She saw a gatekeeper. The hearing was scheduled for 2 weeks later. 2 weeks that felt longer than Lila's entire online career. She tried to film. The camera felt heavier now. Comments colder. Views slipping. When she walked outside, neighbors no longer waved. Some looked away. Some watched quietly. Maplewood Street had chosen silence over smiles. One afternoon, a delivery driver stopped at the corner, checked his phone, then turned around. Sorry, ma'am. This address is flagged for restricted access hours. Lila stared. Flagged by who? He shrugged. City system. She knew who. That evening she attended another neighborhood meeting. This time without a camera. Auntie May stood again. But this time people listened before she spoke. We have a responsibility to each other. And to how the street is represented. Lila raised her hand slowly. I want to say something. The room stiffened. Auntie May nodded. Go ahead. Lila stood. I disrespected this community. I treated people like props. I am sorry. A pause. An older man spoke. Words are easy online. A woman added. What will you change? Lila looked at Auntie May. Then back to them. I will stop filming here. I will volunteer. I will listen. Auntie May watched her carefully. After the meeting, Auntie May approached her. If you mean it, prove it. The next morning, Lila showed up at the community garden. No makeup. No phone. She dug soil. She carried boxes. She stayed quiet. People noticed. A week later, she helped organize a local cleanup. She did not post it. Auntie May observed from a distance. Meanwhile, files moved quietly. Zoning approvals paused. Permits reviewed. Exceptions denied. Not as punishment, as balance. One evening, a black sedan stopped outside Auntie May's house. A man stepped out. Ma'am, the board wants your recommendation. Auntie May nodded. I will submit it tonight. From her window, Lila watched. She finally understood. Control did not look loud. It looked patient. The hearing day arrived. Lila sat at the long table, hands folded. The board members flipped through documents. Chairman spoke. We have reviewed the violations. He looked up. We have also reviewed community feedback. He turned toward Auntie May. Ms. May. Auntie May stood. This young woman misused influence. But she has shown willingness to learn. Lila's heart pounded. I recommend conditional reinstatement. With oversight. The board murmured. Approved. Lila exhaled shakily. Outside. She stopped Auntie May. Why help me? Auntie May replied. Because power without correction creates monsters. And power without mercy creates fear. Lila nodded slowly. I was both. Auntie May smiled. Not anymore. The streetlights came on. Maplewood Street breathed again. But one truth was clear. The quiet neighbor Aunty still controlled everything. Just when Maplewood Street began to feel normal again, a black SUV appeared one morning and parked directly in front of Lila's house. Not city. Not neighbors. Corporate. Two people stepped out. Sharp suits. Colder smiles. Lila knew that look. Damage control. They introduced themselves inside her living room. We represent several brands you worked with previously. One man opened a tablet. Your apology cost us revenue. The woman added. We need a narrative shift. Lila swallowed. I am done exploiting people. The man leaned forward. Your contract says otherwise. Outside. Across the street. Auntie May watched the SUV. She picked up her phone. One call. They want to restart her. I see. A pause. No. Let them try. Inside. The brand reps proposed a comeback video. Redemption arc. Tears. Blame the neighborhood. Lila shook her head. No. Their smiles vanished. Then expect litigation. They left. That night, a letter arrived. Cease and desist. Threatening. Aggressive. Lila walked across the street in tears. They are going to destroy me. Auntie May let her in. Sit. Lila handed her the letter. Auntie May read it once. Then laughed softly. They forgot something. What? This street is protected. Lila blinked. By contracts older than their influencers. Auntie May opened a cabinet. Pulled out another file. Historic Preservation District. Commercial Protection Clauses. Community Representation Rights. Lila stared. This place is a legal fortress. Auntie May nodded. I built it that way. The next morning, the brand's lawsuit stalled. Jurisdiction dispute. Local compliance override. Online. A different story trended. Influencer learns humility. Quiet neighbor saves community. Someone had leaked documents. Not Lila. The comments shifted. Respect the auntie. Real power is silent. A reporter knocked. Lila looked at Auntie May. She shook her head. Not yet. That night, Auntie May walked the street. Checking lights. Greeting neighbors. The black SUV never returned. Lila stood on her porch. She no longer wanted to film. She wanted to belong. Most people thought Auntie May life began on Maplewood Street. It did not. Before the quiet porch. Before the wind chimes. Before the knitting. There was Washington. Auntie May's real name was Margaret Hale. 30 years earlier. She sat at tables where cities were shaped. Urban crisis teams. Federal redevelopment panels. Emergency zoning task forces. She was the woman called when neighborhoods were about to collapse. Not loud. Not famous. Effective. Her husband Daniel was a civil engineer. They rebuilt broken places together. Then a bridge failed in another state. Daniel died on a late-night inspection. Margaret resigned 6 months later. She did not leave power. She redefined it. Maplewood Street was her pilot. A place where control served people, not ego. Back in the present. The city scheduled a public forum. Topic: Neighborhood influence and informal authority. Someone wanted Auntie May removed. The room was packed. Media waiting. Lila sat quietly in the back. The council chair spoke. Ms. Hale. Why should one unelected person hold this much sway? Auntie May stood. I do not hold it. I hold responsibility. A council member pushed. You interfered with commerce. Auntie May replied. I protected residents. Then the crowd spoke. One by one. Teachers. Shop owners. Parents. She saved our homes. She stopped exploitation. She listens. Lila stood last. I was wrong. And she stopped me without destroying me. Silence. Vote taken. Unanimous. Authority recognized. Outside. Reporters rushed. Auntie May walked past them. At her porch. She finally spoke to Lila. Power is a loan. Not a trophy. Lila nodded. I understand. That night, Lila posted one final video. No ads. No edits. Just her sitting. I am stepping back. To learn. Millions watched. For once, they listened. Maplewood Street looked the same. White fences, neat lawns, soft lights. But it was no longer ordinary. People came quietly now. Urban planners, community leaders, students. Not for photos, for lessons. They stood near the corner house, listening. Aunty May never lectured. She asked questions. What do you protect? Who do you listen to? Who benefits? Lila became her shadow. Not filming, taking notes. She enrolled in community studies, volunteered off camera. Months passed. One evening, the city unveiled a new program. Neighborhood Stewardship Model. Pilot location. Maplewood Street. The headline went viral. The quiet auntie who outsmarted the influencer and changed how cities work. Aunty May ignored it. At sunset, she sat on her porch. Wind chimes ringing. Lila joined her. I thought control meant being seen. Aunty May smiled. Control means being trusted. Lila asked, will you ever let me tell your story? Aunty May considered. One day, when it no longer needs me. A child rode a bike past. Neighbors waved again. The street breathed. Power stayed quiet. And the internet finally learned. Not every ruler sits on a throne. Some sit on a porch.